My dear brothers and sisters, yesterday our nation witnessed scenes that none of us want to see in Dominica. I want to begin by acknowledging that emotions are high. This government will never dismiss those emotions, but we must also recognize where they stem from: misinformation and deliberate agitation. What we saw yesterday was not a natural reaction to electoral reform. Across the world, nations fight for electoral reform, not against it. People do not usually take to the streets in anger when transparency and fairness are being enhanced. So, why did this happen? Because this was always the opposition's plan. They do not want reform, they want chaos, believing it would serve their political ambitions. This is not new. They have done it before. 2017 stands as a clear example. The opposition knows better, but instead of leading with honesty, they chose to mislead, agitate, and create fear. They deliberately caused panic over something they themselves once called for. This was never about the bills themselves. This was about creating a spectacle, an illusion of unrest to manufacture doubt in the minds of the people. But the people of Dominica deserve better than this political gameplay. A critical point often overlooked is that the United Workers' Party chose not to contest the last general elections. They deliberately removed themselves from the democratic process and are now trying to impose their will on the country from the outside. Their absence from Parliament was their own doing, and yet they seek to dictate national affairs without a constitutional mandate. So, who is really protesting? The opposition members in Parliament fully participated in the process and exercised their role in debating and voting on the legislation. The individuals creating unrest are not the parliamentary opposition, but a group of activists who hold no constitutional authority in this matter. In fact, the members of the opposition represented in the House supported the registration of electors' bill when it came to a vote. The world must understand that this is not an issue of legitimate parliamentary dissent, but rather an orchestrated attempt to create disorder. The regional and international communities must be made aware that this is not a case of a government pushing through reforms against resistance in Parliament. The reforms were debated, voted on, and passed through due legislative process with the participation and approval of all opposition members, including the deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party, who is a senator in the House of Assembly. The actions of the protesters do not represent the true democratic process, but rather an attempt to undermine it. While the videos circulating online may seem shocking, they represent a very small group. The vast majority of Dominicans understand why these reforms are necessary. We do not blame those who were misled. When fear is sown, it is natural for some to react. But our duty now is to lead with truth, to show what these reforms really mean. We cannot change the images and videos from yesterday. They will remain on the internet forever. But what happens next is in our hands. We, as a government, will continue to work with the people, hand in hand, ensuring that electoral reform is fully understood. Electoral reform is not something to fear. It is about fairness, transparency, and a stronger democracy. Like all legislation, if amendments are needed in the future, they will be made. That is how democracy works. But we must move forward with calm, with understanding, and with facts. Over the coming weeks and months, we will break down these reforms, answer questions, and ensure no doubt remains. The best way to combat lies is with truth. I ask every Dominican, do not meet negative energy with negative energy. Instead, meet fear with knowledge. Meet misinformation with facts. This is a moment for Dominicans to show our true strength. We are a proud people, a people of peace, of resilience, of unity. Let us rise above those who seek to divide. Let us prove, not just to ourselves, but to the world, that Dominica is a nation that embraces progress, not fear. Yesterday is gone. Today and the days ahead belong to us. Let us walk forward together in understanding and in truth. May God bless our country, Dominica. Thank you.